10% of all the new cars sold in Iowa come from the Carl Auto Group. Our neighbors trust us to have the largest selection and the highest standards. To our current customers, thank you. And to our future customers, see for yourself why Carl drives Iowa.
Your dealer for life, it's the Carl way.
Hello, welcome to the Halftime Show. I'm your host, Lea Nelson. Jake is joining me in the Northwest Bank Studios this time. Let's go.
All smiles.
All smiles. Chris is enjoying the game. Well, enjoying might be a push. Chris is watching the game in Colorado. So thank you for joining me. Before we get started, let's thank a few of our sponsors. We've got Candle Seed. They are the presenting sponsors for all of the pregame, halftime, and postgame shows. And then our friends over at Carl Auto Group, make sure you check them out for all of your vehicle needs. Iowa State is leading going into half 10-7, but it was a rough first half of football. I know you, I know me, I know everyone kind of thought Iowa State would come out a little bit more on fire maybe for this first half after their loss against Cincinnati last week. So, kind of what are your thoughts going into halftime?
It's weird because right now I'm in a spot where I'm like, there's no way Iowa State should be leading this game, and they're somehow leading. But 10 minutes ago, I was saying, how in the world is Iowa State trailing in this game? It's been so weird because they're clearly physically better. Mm-hmm. They've been able to dominate up front for the most part. But how many different times can you shoot yourself in the foot?
Exactly.
And the hold on the first drive by Bramer, it was not necessary. It was behind the play. That stalls the drive. A couple drops, and someone in the comments just said, "Why are you smiling?" I'm not actually smiling. I'm like,
it's just like me. Sorry.
It's like when the Joker smiles.
Yeah, it's like painful smile.
Yes, painful smile. So that's where I'm at. You could tell me that Iowa State should be up 21-3 right now, or down 21-3, and I would hear arguments for both sides.
I agree. Let's start with offense. It seems like nothing is really working out. People kind of seem off, passes being dropped, missed connections. What kind of needs to change going into the second half?
Well, I think the change we just saw on the last drive. Leading up to the last drive, though, that was probably the worst that Rocco has played all year. I don't even think it's close. He was missing throws, but again, there were some really bad drops. There were some weird penalties that were putting the offense in weird situations. But regardless, Rocco's good enough to figure that out, and it looked like he did on that last drive. So more of that, more of the decisiveness. I noticed there was a lot of times, especially in that second quarter, where they were rolling Rocco out every time. This turf doesn't look good. There's a lot of people slipping, and whether it was his fault, receivers' faults, nothing looked in sync. That last drive, Rocco was almost in the pocket every play, and that's how they were able to move the ball down the field. So I think you just got to trust that Rocco was able to flush whatever was going on in that first 28 minutes of that football game, and he can continue to do what he did at the end. Speaking
of the turf, I know you probably don't have any information on injuries, but people kind of want to know what's going on, what's happening. The injury bug has hit Iowa State, it seems like.
It's so unlucky. And that's the only way that we can analyze it. The people within the building have a better idea of what's going on. And you look at the injury report up and down, it's a lot of names. If there's a silver lining, a lot of those names are third, fourth string guys that wouldn't have played anyways. The problem is when you get hit in the same position group again, just like last year with Jontez Jeremiah, and then Dom has gone down 2 different times today after he had a not great performance last week, went down a couple times a couple weeks ago. It's more so the types of players that are getting hurt. And the 2 goals right now are get out of there with a win and get out of there with any more injuries, because this turf, I can add a little insight to it. They're using these wood pellet.
Worse. Horrible.
I guess you probably know more than I do, but I have a friend who went and played D3 soccer out in Indiana, and they used that turf, and they had extreme ACL problems.
Oh, my goodness.
Not good. Not good at all.
I was going to say I would take playing on grass 10 times, and I've played on turf with, like, the wood pellets. Oh, my. Horrible. horrible, not consistent, lots of injuries, frustrating bounces. So we can blame it on the turf, I guess.
Yeah, well, you can blame the injuries on the turf. The execution, I think today so far it's on the players. I know the coaching staff will always be the easiest to blame. It'll always be easy to blame the offensive coordinator when a play doesn't work. There have been plays there. There have been plenty of plays there that didn't happen because of a drop, because of a penalty before the play, because of a penalty during the play, because Rocco threw behind a guy. At the end of the day, the players have to execute the way that we were seeing them execute through the first 5 games of the season and even back to last year. And if they do that, they will walk out of there with a win and prove they're the better team. If they can do that, though, is the question.
I was going to say, you even tweeted, stealing a tweet from your playbook, but you said the big question is, can Iowa State execute at a high level? And I guess we'll see that in the second half. But talking about defense now that we've focused on offense, what did you see on the defensive end for Iowa State?
I thought they were really good. I thought they were playing downhill, especially when they were able to pin them inside the 10 the first 2 drives. They were anticipating the run. The linebackers were up for the challenge. I thought the D-line was getting good push. Colorado's touchdown drive, I think you kind of got to tip your cap to that. There weren't a ton of missed tackles. They just took what Iowa State gave them, which is how they're going to play defense, the bend but don't break method. As long as Iowa State can continue to play the defense at the level that they've been doing it so far, that would be a massive win for the team. It's hard, though, because Salter, he made a couple plays in that first half that show why he is such a big talent, but he also missed a couple throws where you're thinking, man, there's a reason that they are 2-4 this year and not 4-2 like they were at this point last season.
What would be a comfortable score for you, if at all, any score? Like, what would be the score you would want to see for you to just be like, okay, that game went better than how I felt at halftime?
That's a good question. Better than I thought at halftime. I think any 2-score win. If you walk out of there with a 2-score win, I think you're feeling really good that even though there was a bunch of adversity in the first half, you responded to it and were able to beat a team that has hung in there with TCU, with BYU, with Georgia Tech. If you can win that game by 2 scores, I think you're feeling great. I still think it's a road game in the Big 12. It's raining. If you can walk out of there with a win, that is all that matters. No matter how you do it, just win the game.
I was going to say, it makes me a little nervous because Colorado has had some really close games this season. And I feel like one of these days, one of those close games are going to go their way. And I just hope that it's not this game, not to put bad energy in the air.
Well, you look at Iowa State from 2021 to 2023 early in the year, the worst 1-score luck, you might call it luck, you might call it not luck, but the worst 1-score execution really of any team in the country. They were 8 plays away in 2022 from going 4-8 to 8-4 to 9-3. And we saw how fast that can flip on a dime. Is that something you can measure? Is it momentum? Is it the confidence of knowing you can do it, or is it just pure luck? And I hope we don't run into that today with Colorado, because they are that type of team right now that it feels like that they are due to win one of these close games. Iowa State's challenge should be make sure that they don't even have a chance to go win a close game. Go and get a stop, get a score, and then try and put the game out of question at that point.
I also always like to end these on like a positive note. So shout out Chase Smith on that field goal.
Yeah. He made it through the middle.
Let's go.
That's what you're going to need.
If
the staff can have confidence that you're 20 yards in and you can make the field goal, and that equates to about a 35, 38 yarder, that's what you're going to need from your third string kicker. And I think indirectly that can help the offense too. I think a lot of the offensive problems the last 2 weeks comes from knowing that you don't trust your kicker and knowing, hey, we're in 4-down territory. I think Iowa State is pressing a little bit, and I think they're forcing it, and that probably has been impacting Rocco too, even if he won't say it. So if Smith can hit that 38-yarder, if he can hit another 35-yarder today, and okay, we might have to go for it 4th and 4 on the 30, but we're not going to have to go for it 4th and 4 on the 18. I think that does a lot for the offense, and hopefully they can just, everybody, me included, just take a deep breath.
Take a deep breath. They'll play a little bit more free, a little bit more like the Iowa State football that we really enjoy watching and that can help people like calm down a little bit. It's going to be okay. I always say that and then people get
right.
I was gonna say I always say that and then people get so mad. So, but shout out Iowa State. It'll be good. Well, Jake, thank you for joining me this halftime show. Shout out to all of our sponsors: Channel Seed, Carl Auto Group. Thanks for joining us in the Northwest Bank Studios. You can come back here right after the game for the post game. Jake and I will be back. Thanks so much.